Hey guys, so real quick, I'm just going to basically color in using watercolors on camera. So I have two water brushes. This one is a cheap one that came with a kit, and this one is a I believe a Royal Langnickel one, but it is the fine size tip. Very stained, very used. This is one of those coloring pads that's got the magic, what is it called? Magic paint on the bottom. Yeah, this paint is horrible. The paper is ultra thin and stuff, so it just kind of just goes right through the paper. Not a lot of color, so I will be using mostly this thing. It's pretty cool. I think this one's a Koh-i-Noor set, but it's like an older one that's only got the 12 colors. So there's threads, and basically the wheels just kind of screw together, and sorry, awkward angle there. But yeah, so I really like this. The quality's not the greatest, but it dries really fast, so I've never had a problem with the paint like getting stuck together and not opening. So it's just convenient, you know, it's just really, really convenient. Alright, I'm not actually a fan of this one. So this is just one of those cheap magic paint poster pads that I got from Michaels. I got a few. As you can see, the first time I used it, the water actually went through multiple layers of paper. That's how I know that this is not really watercolor paper. Honestly, these designs are all so complicated. I just kind of want to do something loose and flowy. I guess this will do. So I'm going to rip this off and put it right on the backing page, because I am not dealing with bleed through on like 50 dozen pages. So sorry for the awkward angle. I'm actually going to try to paint while the camera's right in front of me. Unfortunately, my camera setup is not what I would hope. But anyway, so there's the two water brushes. The medium/large size tip one that's slightly leaky, and then this one, which I love but is just a little too fine. My paints, which you already saw, and a paper towel I've already used. It's just to dab off. Alrighty. Alrighty. So let's do the sky first. This is a very dirty paint. It's gross. I have to clean it off. But you see what I said about the paper is pretty bad. Thankfully, I don't care. I've been painting in my sketchbook. Tiny little designs though, not too much water. It's been buckling the paper, so you know, there's that. But overall, I'm okay with my results. It's, you know, cheap, it's easy. I think this kit only cost me like $5 to paint set. Just remember, cheap paper, if you scrub too hard, it actually peels the paper. That's what I'm dealing with in my sketchbook. Like, I love the thing, but the paper peeling is a bit much. Although I drew bread the other day, and the peeling actually made it look like crumbs, so that actually worked out. But overall, it's not really what you want. Like the little balls of paper that, you know, like how when your sweaters get old, they go really like, well, pilly. They go all fuzzball. Yeah, that happens with cheap paper if you go over it too much with a watercolor brush. Or, you know, go over it all. Like I said, I used really cheap sketch paper. It was a, last year Walmart back to school, they had them for like, I think $2 or $3. One of the really small ones, I bought it because, you know, cheap sketchbook. Not a bad quality. I mean, the paper is not great. It's not acid free or anything. But just, you know, to keep next to the bed, just for amusing myself with, yeah, it's fine. Like you can tell by the quality of my art, I'm not exactly a pro, so it's not so bad. You know what is so weird though? A lot of these arts and crafts channels are being categorized as YouTube made for kids content, and I swear that they're like, they have no idea what's made for kids. Because there's some stuff that's very, I would say, kid oriented that's not considered made for kids. And then you'll have a serious review of a watercolor palette, you know, including like pigment information, and they decide that's made for kids. Like, you know, what gives? Alright, I'm just gonna let that dry a little bit. But yeah, this is stained. I mean, these brushes do stain, so. I feel like the cheaper paints might have some like dyes and stuff in it that stains the brush, but it's acceptable because they're just dirt cheap. I do have more expensive stuff. Like I just bought myself a set of the Sennelier, well, not just, last Christmas for a gift for myself. I bought myself the Sennelier Mini Aqua set. Just because it was a great deal. What was that, 25 for 8 colors. And Sennelier is a very prominent brand, but of course, you know, I've been like probably a lot of y'all, I've been just hesitant to use up my good colors, so I haven't used it yet. Oops. Ugh, I don't like that color. Do you see it going on neon? I don't like that. But yeah, so the Sennelier, it's definitely a little bit, I mean, it just, to my brain, is too expensive to use. But you know what? Having it makes me happy, and I'll probably, I'll see if I can do a review or something sometime. I swear, I only post about 1 in every 3 or 4 videos shot. And probably only one in every 10 plus ideas. Adding a little bit of brown in there because I want yellow ochre, but I don't have yellow ochre in this set. Some of my favorite colors are I like ultramarine blue and cobalt blue, but I also love yellow ochre, and I like sap green. But the sap green I like is actually a little bit more, I guess, yellow ochre-ish than most brand sap greens. Because I custom made my own color. And then, you know, I used it. It's almost gone. And I just realized yesterday that I never wrote down the formula. So, oops, I'm going to have to remake it. I think I remember which set of paints I used. So it's just going to be trial and error. But, you know, overall, just a tad bit annoying. Oof, okay, that might be too much. Okay. What do you think? Flower. I think that's the best I can do with what I have. The paper's already peeling from my yellow and then the brown and then trying to pick up colors. So I think that's it. I think that's it. But you can see I'm mixing colors right on the cake. I don't do this with, okay, that's a lie. I do this even with more expensive colors. I just pan colors, especially drier ones. If you have a tube color, you wouldn't do that because it contaminate the entire color. But because with this, I can, just pick it off. That's okay. But yeah, I think these are like $5. They don't even make the set this small anymore. The smallest set you can find now is I believe it's like 4 of these trays. Just tonight I was already in bed and I got a note. I got into a video thread of people showing their on sale items and stuff, and they were talking about how crazy art was. Oh, what was that, 97 cents or whatever at Walmart right now for back to school. The crazy art watercolor palette, which by the way, in my opinion, is not the best quality or the best color, but for 97 cents, I was like, oh, I'm gonna buy that, I'm gonna review it for you guys, and then I'm gonna like take the colors out and squeeze in my tube paints. First of all, I've had really cheap watercolors before. The last set, it took me like a month, I think, to try to use it up, and I just kind of gave up on it. It didn't really layer, it didn't glaze. Obviously, didn't layer, didn't glaze, nothing. This brown is a little too red. I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit blue. But yeah, so it didn't really work as well as I wanted it to. So I ended up just throwing away the palette because I tried popping the colors out to see if I can refill it with tube colors. But the holder's just flimsy, very thin plastic, so it was bending, and I was like, no, just I'm not dealing with it, But yeah, so yeah, I resisted the urge to buy stuff. Oops, sorry, I just realized my hand might have been in the frame for most of those flowers up top. But yeah, so it's, it's one of those things. Like, I'm trying not to spend, so, I kind of want the birds to be like, kind of want them green. Will that clash, you think? You know what? Hey, let's get these flowers up here. I'm just gonna make them red or something. I think we'll go in with this. This is a alizarin crimson type red. Basically a very purpley shade of red. Like it's I think it's a little bit of maybe black or something in there as well. Like you can see the color. I dabbed it on the white. You can see the color. By the way, white watercolors is not really useful, but I do sometimes use it to cover mistakes, that's all. Like now, I accidentally colored part of the stem and the green part red. Oops. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how we have very dark greens. Because, you know, red plus green is, well, grayish brown, depending on which colors you use. Now going in with the green to sort of, I guess, make this look intentional. Oh, sorry. Sorry, guys. I keep doing that. It's not a bad green, though, I'll be honest. It's a mix of the red left on my brush and this one. This green right here. I really need to get my camera setup done. I used to use a little wire frame thing to get the sort of the camera angles right, but it was just too much. The wire kept I kept having to rebend the wire into each new setup that I needed, and the wire just kind of, well, you know, you could feel it give way basically. The only good things about an opaque watercolor, which, you know, it's gouache if you actually wanted opaque watercolors, it's it kind of goes over mistakes, it covers it up. White does that too. That's the only use for white in this palette, really. Okay, so green. Oops, fudge. Green with a touch of blue, I think. That's, I think is supposed to be cobalt blue. I don't know what color it's supposed to be. It's just, I mean, it's a cheap palette. None of them have real colors. I'm not sure if Koh-i-Noor has like the pigment information listed nowadays, but this set was, I mean, I bought it 3 years ago, and they legit had stock from like the 1980s in the back room, so and actually on the shelves too, I saw a couple of things from like the 1980s on the shelves, so, you know, I'll be honest, it's not, I don't think their stock is necessarily the freshest, but I did enjoy the opportunity to, you know, purchase things that are older. Alright, I'm just gonna angle this towards me. Hopefully you can still see this. No, it's kind of sad. I think the store's probably going out of business or already gone out of business by now. They've been in business for a couple of decades at least, and you know, it's sad that a local shop goes out of business, but they legit has such a big photography section though, like old school, like old school photography. I'm not really surprised that they can't really you know, do good business, because they're catering to a very, very small market these days. Like, I don't think I know anyone who actually does, you know, the you know, silver solution style like development of photos. I mean, it's a very niche hobby these days. Not to mention all the chemicals and stuff. It's, you know, not really what I would consider a very safe hobby. I just, you know, maybe I'm overly worried, but I personally would not be comfortable handling all those chemicals, and I mean, you know, it's just a lot of chemicals. But, you know, then again, we probably ingest more chemicals every day, right? In our food, all the preservatives. But, I mean, I just don't really like the thought of all those chemicals in my body, potentially chemicals that were never tested for human ingestion, that are not supposed to be, you know. Once I was working with some pastels, some artist quality pan pastels, and well, I think they're artist quality. Anyway, I was working with some pan pastel type things, and I got hungry, so I grabbed myself some food, and then as I was eating, I was like, this is bitter, and then I noticed my fingers were still covered by the dust. So I think it might have been a cobalt blue, because it was blue. So oopsie, you know. Oopsie daisy, I may or may not have eaten cobalt color, like with real cobalt in it, so we'll see. I mean, I don't, there hasn't been any adverse repercussions on my health so far, so, you know, knock on wood. But yeah, things like that, you know, I'm definitely weary of, you know, using chemicals and stuff, just in case, just in the off chance that I end up eating or drinking without knowing, and you know, oopsie daisy, I may have accidentally drunk a noxious chemical down. Yeah, so and yes, before you ask, yes, you know, especially with what's going on in the news right now, I am better about my hand washing these days. But still, I mean, if you're in your house and you're, you know, drawing or painting or whatever, you don't necessarily think of your hands as being filthy, you know? So, yeah. Wow, this is going on 30 minutes. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to pull a little bit more of the sky color to sort of pop in the areas that were missed. Just a little bit of the painting version of fussy cutting. Does anyone remember fussy cutting? I had a fussy cutting phase for like probably several months. Oof, it was a lot of wasted time. Now I think back on it and I'm like, why did you waste all your time cutting that stuff? Alrighty. You know, for color cohesion's sake, I'm just gonna clean off this circle, and I'm just gonna use the same blue as the sky on the birds, just for color cohesion's sake, because I'm using a lot of different colors. It's well, it's a neutral yellow, I'd say, but it's a cool red, so it's a bluish red. The blue is I don't know, I think it's supposed to be cobalt. I mean, I don't know, but it's a greenish blue. So the yellow, the red is bluish. It's just, I was going to use ultramarine and yellow on the birds, but I think I'll just use the cobalt. And of course, these aren't the real colors. These are just, like, the ultramarine is too purple to be a real ultramarine and stuff like that. I'm calling them that, but they're really not the colors themselves. Huh. Okay, that's not what I expected. Yeah, I don't really like this color. I've only ever used it diluted for the sky before. I don't think I realized how interesting this color is. Joy. Well, too late now. Yeah, not a fan. I know that's not the color these are supposed to be. Just work with me here. Huh, that's one very interesting bird. Interesting. Going into the white. I'm going to the white. I can't. This colors. See, and that is the only good thing white is good for, covering up our mistakes. And that's only because this set of colors can't be lifted because it's staining, and also if you try to lift it, like, rips the paper. What'd you think? Not as tragic as it could have been, right? I mean, I guess so. What'd you think of this color? It's a bit of a sort of grayish color. I mean, I think I like it well enough to maybe a little more red. Oh yeah, color mixing with this set is problematic for most colors. There is a decent purple in this set, and there are some decent greens, which is great because mixing the colors with the primary art is just no good. Like, this is I swear there's some sort of like black filler or something here. The red is a bit weak. The cadmium red, the orangey red, is surprisingly strong, but of course it's not real cadmium, you know. But it's actually surprisingly decent. I do like the yellow, I have to admit. I like most brands' yellows though, so that's not really that telling. Brands keep messing up purple, so I'm actually glad there's a purple in this set. But yeah, I think purple and pinks are probably some of the hardest colors in terms of trying to get it right for paints, just because they're such fugitive colors for most of them. That is to say, they fade. And yeah, so like, you don't want your paints to be fading away, right?